it does seem like after what happened this week that the White House is paying attention to the market and reacting, maybe, tweaking its policy after we've had these big sell-offs. Do you think every point here matters in terms of that outcome?
Mnuchin speaks, and good things happen. He's been silent on this issue. He's considered a free trader. So the fact that he's talking probably means, the administration has backed off. But listen, I think directionally, expect more of this. You still have, the president seems to be a little bit all over the map. Not really, he listens to Navarro, who makes a very persuasive case, and sort of things get tougher. Mnuchin, it goes the other way. But the president obviously would prefer to get tougher. And more importantly, Congress is somewhat united on wanting to get a lot tougher on China with trade. Not necessarily tariffs, but they're very worried about them stealing technology. So directionally, there are going to be more limits in the future, not fewer.
Well, this is, Jimmy, what I can't understand after this week. So is the president going to just take the tough line on China because that's what he campaigned on and that's what's important and that's what he thinks is a winning issue for him and there have been abuses? Or is he going to kind of take cues from the market?
Listen, I think, the president has tweeted a lot about the markets. Obviously, he's very focused on the market. I'm sure he would prefer to be talking about record Dow highs than talking about some other things. So I think he'd like to get back in there. So, he's very sensitive to the market. And you've seen sort of these reversals. ZTE was another obvious one. Now we see with these trade restrictions. Listen, Navarro will keep pushing him. Lighthizer will keep pushing him. And more importantly, Congress is going to keep pushing him to stay tough on China. They did not like the ZTE turnaround. And this new CFIUS bill is pretty tough. It's not going to mean more investment from China.
Right. Mike, what do you think?
I think the market is struggling with not just the substance of what's floated out there, it's the ongoingness of it and the fact that sometimes it seems as if the White House prefers to just seem like it's throwing more out there to stay on offense on the issue as opposed to just follow a process where we're going to get to some kind of a targeted end. I also feel as if there's an impression at times when there's a hard line out there, when the hawkish stance seems to be in front, that the administration is willing to take all the assets of this economy, basically this acceleration into the new year, the tax cut, the repatriation, the low unemployment, and view it as ammunition to use to fight a trade war. And that's not something the market bargained for coming into this year. I would also just on Steve's point, if the S&P is down 70 points from where it otherwise would be, it's still more than 100 points from its January high. So it's not the whole story of what's going on in this market.
Steve?
Yeah, but you can't have both things. You can't have a trade war and you can't have a rising market. We've seen, so that is a perpetual conundrum for this White House.
That's what you were saying, Steve.
I just think this is West Side Story inside the White House. You got your Sharks, you got your Jets, you got, Lighthizer, and you have Ross, and you have Navarro on one side. And then I don't think it's a coincidence that the president backed off the most extreme version of protecting U.S. technology now that Larry Kudlow returned to the White House on Monday. I think that's probably not a coincidence. I think some of that was walked back. The trouble here is this, and I'm interested in what Jimmy and Mike have to say about this along with you, Kelly, is there's been a trade here, and the trade has been that extreme measures are announced, and then people say, oh, it's just negotiating, it's just negotiating. I feel like that's wearing a little thin at this point, and people think the intention is for the for the president to put these things in place. I remember a Goldman Sachs research paper just a week or so ago that said their base case now is the July 6 tariffs go into place, whereas before they might have said, you know what, we think they may come off at the last minute.
Jimmy will give you the last word.
If the president merely wanted to cut a deal where China buys more stuff, they could have already done that. They haven't, which means some of this stuff is sticking.
Jimmy, are we going to lose you too to Larry Kudlow? Are you going to go work in the every contributor we like to talk to you. We come on, we have these great discussions, and then Clifton, they disappear, and he takes all our anything you want to tell us now? Break our hearts now instead of later.
Listen, when they picked Powell for the Fed, I knew at that point I was just going to stay at AEI.
Jimmy, I think Kevin brought over about a dozen of your folks from there. That whole office must be empty now.
It's a little quieter, but it's still lively.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.